Yep, no, take your time.
Stretch it down a tiny bit more.
Yeah, good job, good judgment. And then just wipe away your excess eraser. Sort of, yeah. Yeah, always keep it nice and clean.
Yep.
Alright, so now we've got our basic shapes. We can start like cutting into this. Now the reason we have this line that I've put in here is so we can see, like that would be a horizon line in the picture. Like that would be where the horizon is.
Yep.
And so we know where he starts to come into the foreground at what point. So that way we can make it so it doesn't feel like he's floating. Like, because we don't want him floating.
Yeah.
I made a cartoon.
Come here. Alrighty, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start doing the head because that's the main part. So what we're going to do is about 3/4 of the way down, we know that this is roughly going to be the snout and it's sort of like an ice cream cone shape. Not the pen, honey bunny. Give me the pen. You can have the big white one, not the one with the balls.
Why?
Because it's pen.
I want him.
Like, okay, well, you can't have pen, but you can have the other big white one. Okay? And then from the... Oh, yeah, you're doing that bit? Yep. Beautiful. Yep, beautiful.
Put that down.
Yep.
I just want to use it one time and then I'll give it back to you.
Yeah, but just don't put it on the table, okay? I'm so scared. Okay, cool. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to create the basis of the head. Now if I jump ahead with another step, just so it's going to make sense to you,
Here you go, Mom.
I'm going to add in the sort of like the ear here. So see how the shapes are sort of starting to come together?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I just want to show you my picture.
Did you put the letter H on it? Did you write your name?
Why do I have to do that?
I thought it would be nice.
Can I give it to Sonia?
Yes, you can.
Where is she?
You just have to go look for her. Oh, and the email I wrote at the start of the holidays about the rooms being messy was totally not related to you. Because you're like star student. All students should be like you. But it was like a lot of people were like leaving like food behind and stuff. And I was like, this is just like, I'm not a cleaner. And you shouldn't be cleaning up other people's mess up either. So, yeah. Just wanted you to know that. You are star student. Okay. So now we've got the basic shape of our ear. Now what we're going to do is we might start honing in on the head. So we've got our basic shape. So now we can see that where the snout meets the face, it's the other side of the eye. So it sort of curves over like that. And we can actually then do our, see that there? How it sort of curves over just a little bit. So this is what it will sort of start to look like. My daughter has a perpetual cough. And then what we'll do is this.
Should we do that one there? Like that?
Yep. We're just doing like the section for where the eyes come in like this. And it might look a bit funny at the start, but gradually this will all start to come together. Is it full? Okay, cool. So that's looking really good. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to hone in on this eye just a little bit more and make it a little bit more like the picture. So we're going to just add in a few extra little curves. Just bring it down a bit.
Should I move my eye up a little bit or?
I think it needs to be cut in. I feel like what you've done is the basic shape, which is awesome. So now you need to cut it in. If I were you, I'd sort of start cutting it in like this. And just a little bit more. So I'd start bringing that in. If you look at the shape here, like it's a lot smaller. So I think what you've done is you've planned where the eye's going to go, and I think that's awesome. So you just need to cut it in and refine it a little bit more. And that's the same with my eye. Like I need to cut in my eye as well.
That head was looking a bit.
And it'll help also when see how you got like the little eyebrow here like this as well. So all those little things will help make your eye look a little bit more realistic. Okay, how are you going? Yep, I think that's really good. You just need to erase as you cut away. That's what I do. Yeah. And again, we're also, starting to cut in the head. So feel free to use this picture and just check out where the angles go for different things and start cutting away from our broader shapes. How'd you go? Did you give it to Sonia?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. There you are. Okay, how you going? Yeah, that's looking much better. That's looking really good. You happy with that?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So if I were you, the next step I would do is start working on this side of the snout here. So I've sort of cut that in a little bit there. See how here it's sort of cut in?
Oh yeah.
Alrighty, how you going? Yeah, that's looking really good. I'm using like quite possibly the world's most difficult eraser. But that's okay. Alrighty. So I've just continued to fiddle around with the dimensions on the snout as well. Actually took a little bit of fiddling today, which is unusual.
Why is your dick buzzing here?
Use up for painting. Okay. So I've just added in the snout at the end. So I've tried to really scoop that there and then sort of brought it sharply sort of down like that. And then added in a bit of a sort of a loose triangle there. Yep.
What is?
Oh, leave that, sweetheart.
What is
There's
it?
a few sharp things in there, so just be careful. Get them out of the way.
There was something that you had, Mama.
Just be careful with all the sharp things, darling.
Okay.
Thank you. Alrighty, yeah, how you going with that? I'd
Don't get
probably just extend that a little bit more because your snout will sort of come in around there. See how that sort of makes a bit more sense?
Yeah.
Moving that out.
Nice. It's
So
a
cool.
sharp one,
Looks
Mum.
like my dog.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah.
Oh, yay!
There's a sharp one.
That's fine,
She
sweetie.
lies down like that. That's why I chose it. She
Aww.
lies down like that a lot.
That's cute. So now here, what we're going to do, I'm going to bring this down a little bit like this. And I'm going to sort of imitate this line here at the base of her face because it sits on her face, if that makes
I
sense.
want to give Ben something, Mommy.
All right, you give Ben something. Beautiful. Now I'm just going to look at the negative space. So I'm looking at the space here. See how that ear comes around a little bit more? So now I'm going to imitate this space here. So I'm going to bring it down a little bit more like that.
Thank you.
Oh, that's very nice of you, Harriet. So I'm just extending out my ear a little bit. And I'm going to then start focusing around here to bring it in. We're going to have to use some scrap paper, darling, because you've used all my paper. So we start just focusing on that there.
I can't see any scrap paper.
Just ask Sonia for some scrap paper, sweetie. See that? And now we can start bringing it in up there too.
So,
Like that. So
I
see-
get that bit.
This bit here. So this bit is over here. So we're looking at this line that comes down like that. See this here?
Oh yeah.
So I'm looking at this space here.
Yeah.
How the lines look if we took away these two bits. We're looking at that bit there. See that? How the ears curve slightly around. So I'm looking at the opposite of what I want to draw. So I want to draw the ear, but I'm looking at the lines that are around the ear so I can accurately sort of guesstimate that.
Sure.
Yeah. Good job, sweetie. You can colour in on those ones.
Mommy.
Why don't you try and draw Ben?
Hey,
Oh, well, you need to draw his head first.
then
So I can't really get it.
That's okay. So now, if you're stuck on this side, we're now going to look at the negative space around this side of the ear. See how it's sort of like an L there? So if I was to then do an L, I could then, and I look at the angle that that L shape there would sit on. And then you'll find that the ear will start to sort of come together.
So
That's okay, you're doing well.
is this Ben side?
Good job. Does he got eyes? Does he have a nose?
Yes.
Does he have a mouth?
Yeah.
Okay, then you've drawn Ben. Yep, that looks really
Mommy
good.
needs a body.
Oh, Ben, you're just floating on the page. So then what I would do, this is so good, and then I would start mimicking that L shape there, which is this shape here. See this here? So like a little L or a hook.
oh yeah.
So now I'm going to start doing this. And see how we're sort of naturally starting to progress to the next like body limb?
Yeah.
Because we're using the negative spacing as well. I'll give you a minute just to make sure you finish the actual head as well. And remember, it's never really always final. Like, you'll end up sort of changing bits and pieces here and there as you go. So don't stress if it doesn't look perfect yet. I'm going to start using some of those fur techniques that we used last term and just add in, this is a very different picture from the penguin, like we're just going to use like suggestive lines to suggest that there's fur. So there's not a lot of them, they're just sort of there, if that makes sense. Remember, we want the lines of our fur to go in the direction that the fur would be going in. So, yeah.
I'm just need a band-aid on my finger.
Okay, you can get another band-aid out. Where did you put them?
I could be my library bag.
Yeah, that's really good. Alrighty, so what we're going to do now is we might just finish off this limb underneath the dog, so it sort of curves a little bit there, right? And then we'll just sort of make it a little bit suggestive because we actually have another limb, which I'll just draw the basic structure of it first, and it actually sits quite close to there, so I'm going to do that first sort of swoosh there, just to make sure that the direction of these two lines sort of makes sense. Does that make sense? So I've done the swoosh of this line here, of this side of the leg, and then I've added in. Yep. See this swoosh here, that one there. Yep.
And it stops right there.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Around there.
Yeah, so when we're drawing, we don't have to like do every absolute shape. Oh, careful, Hattie, because there's little sharp things in there. Okay. There's another sharp thing in there. Let me just get it out for you, and then you can rummage. Alright, you can rummage now. Yeah, like you don't have to have the absolute completed shape to go on to the next part of the dog. Sometimes it's good to like do bits and pieces and then sort of like count the dogs, if you will. So that was really good that you're like stop there and you're like, okay, well this line stops here and then this will sort of start to intersect. So you're like starting to think instead of like, oh, I want to draw a picture, it's like, how can I construct this picture? And it's a much different mindset to have. And that's really good. So just get that swooshed here, just so we know we don't want to have that leg too far away from the head. And now that we've got those 3 elements, we can actually start to put the feet together. We can start looking at the shapes that go around that. So remember that these lines are like essentially like, you know, the middle of the limb. Does that make sense? Yeah. So we're drawing either side of these shapes. Like this.
Well, I found something.
What did you find?
Look.
Oh, a little man. Very good, sweetie. I also want you just to consider, if you can, I don't know if you can still see it, our horizon line. This will help us decide at what point does this start to curve around here. Like, does that make sense? So we want to put it relative to the dog's head and relative to the ground. So keep that in mind as well. And I'm like, think of this and this and this. And then think of this.
Look what I find.
Very good, Harriet. That needs to go in the bin, doesn't it?
Look, Mommy. Sharp. Sharp.
Yeah, it is sharp, isn't it?
Where were they?
What are you look? Oh, are they in the car still? Well, you can't go to the car now. You'll have to wait. So like I did the foot, and then I was like, I think I actually want to like, make it closer to the dog's head. So then I've like moved it slightly. So it was just like, you know, things like that. Once you've got it in, then just look at it and be like,
I need to do that as well. It was looking like it was way down there.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's just that little bit too high.
I want to go toilet, Mom.
Do you? Alright, do you know where the toilets are? Do you want to go by yourself or do you want Mum to come with you? Do you want me to come with you? I can come with you.
I want to do myself.
Or I'll just stand outside the door. Yeah? So just play around with that. I'm just going to take Harriet to the toilet. Oh wow, we've got quite a mess. I'll stand outside the door.
Not the end of the world. I think one of the other teachers had first contact. See you probably next Monday.
She'll be there. See you later.
See you.
Hello. Jack, how are you? Yeah. Got someone here for you? Oh, brilliant.
So I've got a new phase of toilet training on the lad in the toilet. Makes it all very awkward. Yeah, that's looking really good.
Is it looking too thin or too thick?
I think it's looking too small, to be honest. That's the only thing I would say. If you want, you can sort of measure. It's like, well, how long is this dog's foot? And then measure it in relation to something like, it's slightly smaller than the head. So then I would sort of do this. And then I think even my foot needs to be like a little bit longer. So sometimes it's good to have like an anchor point to which what you sort of measure everything against.
I might accidentally rubbed out the nose.
Yeah, it's a tricky foot, this one. I think I'm happy with that sort of. I think I'm happy with that. If I start adding in some
It's mine.
sort of, yes, you can play with that, darling. That's yours. That's right. Might add in some fur just to see if my picture's making sense. I think I'm finally happy with that. How's yours going?
Still trying to find it.
I think that looks a lot better. I think the issue you have is that needs to be a lot more defined there, with that angle there. And then, even though it's a dog, they still tend to have that, just a slight, not like humans.
Yeah.
See that? Slight difference, yeah. And then this is too thin here. So
Yeah.
this needs to swoop against the head and then come in like that. And then it comes sort of like there. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that looks really good. Just clean up your page a bit, like just sweep away all of that gunk from the eraser. So now what we can do is I've looked at the next attachment line here and I've noticed, well, obviously this is the start of the tail here, right? That's the start of the tail.
Yeah.
So over here, it's kind of like if we go along, because this line only stops here, right? But just say if we drew through that line and then we had a bit of a scoop here and then we went out like this, we could sort of see where the body connects to the tail and where it would start rising. Does that make sense? Where this side would start rising. So if we were to draw through there too, this is the sort of, can you see that? So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it on my page so you can see. This is the line of the foot, which is this line over here. So I'm going to scoop down. I'm going to draw right through. Then I'm going to do like a little, slight little scoop there. And then I'm going to do this line here. Now I can see that this is the start of where the tail comes out, right? Sort of, it's very sort of, it's not really there, but it's there. And then I can also see this next stage, Ben. This here, I can see at, you could do another negative space. You could do that there, and then you can see this negative space there, right? So then I'm gonna then do this and see if my angles are right according to here, right? Yeah, that's about right. And then I can start going, okay, well, it sort of starts to flatten out slightly above here. So then I'm just going to go here and I'm going to start flattening it out. See that? See how it starts to come together?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So there.
I would start down here. I'd draw through this line, right? From where the base of that foot is. So yeah, it would be from there. I would do a dip and then I'd come out there like that. and see how that's sort of getting you on your way, and then you can decide. Look for the shapes, you know what I mean?
Yeah. There you go.
Might even be more inclined to move that over just a little bit. Actually bring that in a little bit.
Mommy, look.
Where's Wally?
Maybe this one to buy.
Alrighty.
It's my picture.
Pardon, darling?
My favorite song.
Is it? That's good. Sometimes when I start doubting myself, I'm like, have I done it right? I'll do a bit of shading, because sometimes shading or adding in the fur sort of makes a difference. You sort of see it better. So I'm like, oh, I might start doing a bit of shading here, just to see if that makes sense for the picture. I'm starting to go, now what is it that's not making sense in my picture? Where have I gone wrong? And sometimes it's just a simple case of adding in the It's starting to really come together.
I'm gonna walk from the middle of the street. So that was good. Have you been on holiday? You've been on long trips?
No, I only had 2 days off.
Oh, 2 days off.
On the holiday.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah. Just Tuesday and Wednesday.
How's that gorgeous boy of yours?
Which one?
I'm like, my dog looks so sad.
You charge my iPad.
Not right now. I don't have a charger, darling.
Yes, you do.
Do I? You'll have to show me.
What's this? You need to put that on. Yeah, no, what? Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that's starting to look really good.
Yeah,
You happy with that?
the charger.
Yeah, it looks really good. Oh, good girl.
A couple of weeks ago.
You're gonna have to sit on the floor over here if you want it charged. Okay?
Okay, I put it.
Yeah, here. I know you don't play with electricity points. Mummy does. No. So I'm gonna start breaking up some of my lines that I've originally done, and I'm gonna start just turning those solid lines that I had into like little fur lines, just to make it look a bit more, soft and less rigid.
Oh, I haven't got up to.
No, that's okay. I want to make sure you can see where the next step's going to be, that's all.
Yeah.
Hattie, would you like me to plug it in for you? You can't do it. You're 3 years old. I can do it, but you're not to play PowerPoint. So would you like me to do it for you? Well, when you're ready to have it charged, you let me know and I'll plug it in, okay? Ready. Actually going to bring that line all the way in because it looks a bit like a sheep. I've made a sheepdog. Patty, I'm going to take that off you if you can't behave.
Put it up there.
No, it doesn't go up there.
Why?
Because you won't be able to sit down. Okay? Thank you, Mum. I'm going to put it in one more time. And if you take it out, that's it. It's not funny.